Okay. All right. Hi. I'm. You know who I am.
Why are you John? Because that's what you said when we called you from Papa John's.
That's a good story. We'll start with that one. All right. So, well, actually, I don't know.
It's
Give me the
okay.
All right.
microphone.
No, I'm gonna say it. So you're not gonna say it. I used to work at Papa John's in high school, and it was 4th of July. I remember it vividly, because we were hanging out at Olivia Phillips's house, at her pool.
We were, not you.
I was.
You were working.
I went there first and then went to the Papa John's.
Okay.
I didn't drink any because I'm responsible. And I was delivering pizzas, and it was not busy. So I got a phone call, and I knew I was going to be the first one out. And we had caller ID because it's, 2014 or before we graduated high school. And it said Vance Hall. And so I didn't want it to be an awkward interaction at the door, so I gave a fake
You
name.
know the man. Why would it be awkward?
I don't know.
You
He
gave a fake name.
He said his
Gave
name
a
was
fake
John.
name. Said I was Jim, dude.
Jim, whatever.
I was Jim
Turns
on the
out
phone.
It was me and John Michael saying, "Oh, Davis is working at Papa John's. Let's call up and see if we can get him to deliver his pizza." We call and we put him on speaker. It's Davis's voice saying his name's Jim, and John Michael's got the phone. John Michael goes, "Davis," and then Davis goes, "John Michael."
Oh my god, I can't.
Funny.
This was 4th of July.
Yes, I panicked. All right.
Well,
Whatever.
John Michael always give me this. John Michael always did love the 4th of July. I think many years in a row, we would always take the golf cart to the Peachtree City Parade that was right outside his neighborhood. So every year he would call us at like 7 in the morning to make sure that we were picking him up on the golf cart. So we would always swing by.
Ready for him? A drink ready for him?
Yes,
He
drink.
Have a drink ready for me.
Always.
We had to make it for him.
Always had a drink ready
But you
for
guys-
him.
Bit into
Um,
it. You,
Of
y'all
course.
pampered him. Y'all
Of
pampered him.
course, we pampered him. But 4th of July are some of my favorite memories with him. He always had the best time. We would start with the parade, and then we would usually go hang out at somebody's pool, and then we would always.
Emily's pool.
Well, and mine
With or
for
without
1
me.
year, with or without Emily, yes.
We had your permission.
And then we would always end watching the fireworks and taking the golf cart to watch fireworks. So that's some of my favorite memories with John Michael is 4th of July. Does anyone have any? Okay.
Yeah, so
Shot.
let me get in here. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think my memories, some of them I probably shouldn't share here in this forum, but for the most part, what I remember most vividly is the last few years when we would golf, when me and Kurt and Davis were hanging around town and right after college. I mean, it was just the best of times, It would be like 60, 70 degrees, sun's going down, and we would all just be sneaking on the golf course, drinking beers, playing
for free.
playing barefooted.
We would pick
Or pickleball.
break into the Timberlake.
Break into the
Then
courts.
Someone Davis, we'd make Davis climb over.
No, it would be Kurt because he's
I
so
was the
nimble.
Get
And
up
then
on the
after a
rock.
while, he didn't want me to do it. So if John Mike, can I see that?
We're interrupting Clayton's.
No.
Oh,
Go
no,
ahead,
you
go
know what?
ahead.
No, yeah,
But okay, in summation, I
You
just
already win.
it was good to know him. I mean, the last few years were a little different because he wasn't with us all the time. But just when I think back, I remember that guy that's so happy and full of life, and like everyone has alluded to, he's always got a smile on his face, and it was just really special to get to spend the time with him. Whoever wants.
I had an idea for a story that I think one of you two could tell. It was during spring break senior year. When I look back on that week, it's one of the best weeks of my life. It's actually it was the sandwich. One second. It was the sandwich snatcher story. But anyway, I distinctly remember on that trip, it was probably the last day, and we all piled into someone's car. You might have been driving. We were on the way.
I was not driving.
Someone was throwing up outside the window, and
That
you know,
sounds like you.
well, no, it wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. But people weren't feeling good. It was somebody, but people weren't feeling good. But I remember, we went and stopped on the way home at some hotel, and we snuck into the pool, and we were hanging out.
Alley's Beach.
Yeah, we were hanging out by the pool at this hotel that we weren't supposed to be at. And I remember just sitting there thinking that like this was like the best day that I've had in my life. And I remember having that thought. But there's a funny story on that spring break that they can tell.
The sandwich snatchers, okay? So how do I even start this story?
Katie know it?
Katie, do you want to tell it?
Okay. As the responsible 18-year-olds we were, we decided to take sandwiches down to the beach.
We were 21. We were
is
drinking legally.
us.
No, we were not. This was senior year spring break.
Specify who
For the
we
cameras.
is. We, us girls.
The girls group to get something in our stomach. So we bring a little cooler full of our sandwiches. So excited to eat them
You
at
prepared.
lunchtime.
Yes,
Yes,
you
prepared
prepared.
because a beach Sammy is the best. And so we're out taking pictures, left our coolers by the chairs, and we finally look at the photos we took and we zoom in the back. And there's Curtis and John Michael with their grummy little hands in our cooler stealing our sandwiches.
I'm in that picture. Looking good.
We went to eat our sandwiches and they were missing, okay? And all the boys denied that they ate all of our sandwiches.
Man's
So
got
at the end of the day, that's when we were looking through all our photos and we're like, wait, what's this? We zoom in the background is Curtis and John Michael arm deep in the cooler in our sandwich cooler. So that's the sandwich snatcher story.
That's a good one. I just had a flashback. I gotta say.
You want to talk about your makeout sessions with John Michael? No?
Let's leave that out of this confessional.
That was a joke. That never
That was
happened.
a joke.
That never happened.
One more shout out. Every time I get McDonald's coffee now, JMH, I think of you. Just FYI.
Oh God, that guy would.
What's your story?
I guess okay. First, let me say, John Michael was very competitive, like everyone says, and would be sarcastic and tough on the guys. But he had a very sweet side that I think he only showed us girls and in private. That he would have died if you guys saw when he would be sweet to us. I don't know if the family has ever caught John Michael doing this, but my favorite memories are finding him in the pantry when we'd be hanging out, and his favorite snack would be to eat raw ramen.
Or the Gatorade
Or
powder.
straight Gatorade powder, or the crab sticks,
Oh,
the
God.
imitation crab.
Imitation
But yeah,
crab.
Dog.
the ramen, he just
Wait,
took the
yes,
noodles.
Can somebody tell the racing story?
Well, while we're on his food habits, I got to talk about his burnt pizza. You remember his Red Baron pizzas that he'd cook for like 20 minutes longer than the box
Yeah, he
suggested?
took it for like 30, 40 minutes in the box.
I still do that. Well, I don't cook them as long as he did. 'Cause they were black by the time he pulled them out. Yeah, Gatorade powder, raw pasta.
Eat some weird dietary habits.
I did try the imitation crab. I'll never.
I was cracking up when they said that they ate like, yeah. like,
Yeah,
they had
I
the
was
legs.
cracking
like,
up
for
too.
sure
I was
imitation.
cracking up too.
For sure imitation.
Just imitation. No.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I glad to admit to John Michael, or don't have to admit, I would always say that. Well, how could he eat that?
Okay.
Always, and he was like, "Oh, it was good."
Before I forget, JMH, the $1 million idea, man. God dang it.
Tell the back scratching story and the race story.
That's just a video of you guys scratching.
you-
so y'all
okay.
can knock that out in 5 seconds.
Okay,
Okay.
Davis, just give a background of what the $1 million idea was.
I'm upset with John Michael, actually. So is everybody here. Maybe not Katie.
Why you stick my me out?
Just
I
let
don't
him
know.
talk. Don't question.
He would lord it over all of our heads, especially the guys. Kurt would have been our janitor. About having a idea to make us millions of dollars, and he would be CEO of this company. One of us was the janitor. I don't know what, but he would never tell us. And he said the time's not right, or I'll tell you when we graduate, or something like that.
He wasn't going to tell us till he initiated the idea. But
So
he-
no one knows the
No one
$1 million.
knows. No one
the
knows.
$1 million idea.
No one knows.
So that is a secret that went down.
So that's like the
We'll figure it out one day when we meet back.
well, it's like someone ate a Wonka candy bar and flushed down the golden ticket, dude.
Yep. So okay. So
Nothing.
stop
another
it.
yeah, one more.
Okay. One.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell the back scratching story. So John Michael's favorite thing in the whole world was to make us do a back scratching train. So, but he would always be in the front so that he would not have to actually scratch anyone's back, but he could get the back scratching. But yes, the one that one time that we totally forgot about this memory. It was in Emily's basement. And so the three of us girls were laying in bed, and John Michael jumped in between us and made us do,
Get in our back scratch train.
yes, to get in our back scratch train that we were having. So that's a sweet memory that I have of him. Yes, very sneaky. But somebody tell the race story, and I feel like
Race story and then
yeah, and then
Give it to
yeah,
me.
and then we can
Yeah.
close. But I want to say that also that John Michael, everyone knows he was the light of the room always, and it just will never be the same being all together and him not being here. I just feel like he's just gonna like pop out. But yeah, we love him so much.
You can if you want.
The race.
Yeah, final story. When we all first started hanging out, we started out in my basement and in my parents' basement. And, everyone said here that John Michael was super competitive. And I don't know who came up with the idea, but John Michael, at some point in the night for several weeks in a row, we would egg him on. We'd start chanting JMH. We'd start chanting his name, and he'd start somewhere, I think by the stairs, and then run this circuit throughout my basement, throughout the bedroom and where the living room was in the basement and the pool table room. And Brandon Newt would have his timer on his phone, and he'd try and beat his record every time he did it. And
Every time that we would get together, we would make JMH run this obstacle course. It never changed. So he would beat his time every time, and we would freak out every time that he would like beat his time.
a sea of,
Keep in
underage
mind-
drunk children chanting JMH.
Yes,
We
and
were of age.
He was known for chugging water bottles.
If I'm ever to run for office, we were
Yes.
of age.
But Curtis swore to us our entire high school career that his basement was soundproof. So we would be screaming, freaking out, chanting JMH this whole time.
Some
And
lies need to be told.
he
What?
wants to close it out.
The clubs.
Close it out.
Close it out, Kurt.
What clubs?
Taurus clubs.
No.
Wow.
And we could go on for another hour of how many stories we have with John Michael, how many fun memories, but yeah, we love you, buddy. Hopefully we'll see you one day, and all our love to the family. Thank you.
Superman out.
Superman.
Uh-oh, liquor bottles on the roof floor.
All right, that's a wrap.
We're just thinking of different stories right now. I specifically, if we want to dive into the one that I have, it kind of goes into what they were talking about earlier. His parents were talking about how confident he was. This man was extremely confident to the point where I had bought an egregious pair of jorts from Goodwill. We call them the Coogee shorts. And I had bet JMH that he would not wear them out. Like I think we went to the Ivy. New, yeah, that's right. We went to New Realm. I actually have the picture of the Coogee shorts right here. I don't know if you can see those. They look obviously incredibly fresh. No shame with that, man. Just like a good-looking dude, and he just did not care. He just like, I'm gonna wear the, yeah. Oh, actually, I just thought of one on the top of my head. I remember, and now Emery's mom's standing right there. I'm like, Emery was always on the opposing team, but talk about competitiveness. Me, Anthony Hawley, and John Michael in elementary school, we would do what is called a package deal when we played kickball. And we would just package deal like all of the 8 best kickballers like on one team, and then everybody else would be on the other team. And there would be times where we would literally like the opposing team would not even get to kick. Like we would just be like smashing balls the whole recess. So yeah, I thought those are 2 funny stories. I don't know if you have one.
I've had a lot of crazy nights and times with JMH over the years. I really can't hone in on a specific story. It's always been fun every time I was around him. I mean, coming in when y'all lived together at your apartment, just they used to have in their dining room. They didn't have a dining room table or chairs like most people would. They had a mattress, a single
That was
mattress
your mattress.
on the floor, but it wasn't mine. I didn't own it, but I slept there all the time when I'd go
Kurt's
visit.
dad slept on that one time. I remember coming out of the living room, and Kurt and JMH had said that Kurt's dad was coming to town, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, whatever. Like he can crash here." And then I remember coming out in the morning, and Kurt's dad is on the mattress in the living room, and I'm like, "You bastards! Like neither one of you guys gave him your room. You made this man sleep on the
It
mattress."
looks like y'all were a bunch of squatters when you lived there. I guess a good story I have is one time me and my girlfriend were coming to visit Atlanta, and JMH offered me and my girlfriend his room to stay in, and he even fancied it all up and did the sheets and everything for me, and I did pay him $40, but he was super nice about that. I was you know, because he used to have this one room, and they had two apartments. You know, there's a 3-bedroom apartment, but his room had like these glass doors, and it was located in an interesting place in the house. But
He got the office room.
yeah, he got
It
the
was
office
supposed
room of the house. Yeah,
It was basically a 2-bedroom apartment, and JMA's got the office room. Yeah, I don't have any other stories. Just a really, really solid dude. Really good guy.
So, yeah, about to say he's. I'm gonna miss him, and very sad, but
For sure.
I know he's in a better place though.
Yeah, I think that's that's all I had.
Yeah, I'll say something.
Yeah.
I just remember growing up with him. Well, we all went to Braylon. Well, you didn't, but even at Braylon, I just remember we would go to Taylor Haney's house and we would see JMH throw up a towel on the trampoline and like wrestle the towel. And then we would go to Anna Banky's, and her house was behind JMH's. And so we would always be like, "Oh, what's JMH up to today?" And he'd always be outside active and stuff, which I know he did the swimming here. But yeah, always a happy dude. I didn't see him until the Coogie night, probably for 6 years, but it was kind of like nothing had changed. He always stayed the same. He didn't really change for like people in general. He was always his happy self. So it was refreshing. I mean, every time we would hang out and stuff growing up, it was nice. It was like he was always him, and it was always happy. Like he was never just down in the dumps or anything. It was like, all right. But yeah,
Yeah, always.
lasers.
Now that no, so now that you brought that up, well, like just like you said, like it was like 6 years went by, and then you guys kind of just like pick up where you left off. Like
he walked out of the room, and I was like, "Wait, you guys live together?"
that's
Like,
ex-
"What's up?"
well, that's how it was. It was
Dang.
like I had been such good friends with him in elementary school, which, well, I guess if we want a story from that, me and JMH were really into WWE
Yeah.
wrestling.
Put you in your outfits and
we would
wrestle it
invite
out.
we would invite people over to JMH's house, and this was at the time of like Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and they did what's called a DX.
Yeah.
So me and JMH would invite someone over, and then we would DX them.
Tackle.
No, a DX is you literally take the man's face and put it into the butt cheeks of another person. No, it's a DX. Let's look it up.
Weird
Look it
giant,
up. It's
yeah.
not weird. It's super cool. People did it all the time. Yeah, it's a fight move. It's badass, honestly. People thought we were cool.
They thought you
People were
really-
jealous that.
You know
Um,
that continued into your late 20s. Still.
No, but then we were friends again. Like in high school, we didn't like talk a lot through like middle school, but like in high school, we were good friends again. And then yeah, just like you said, like after college, like when we roomed together, it was just like you always just pick up right where you left off with that guy. Like such a good dude.
I was say I didn't really know him personally that well in high school or college. It was when I really got to know him when y'all were roommates. I'd come to see, come to visit, and like you would be at your girlfriend's, Kurt would be at his girlfriend's. So me and JMH would just stay.
You guys are left.
we're just hanging out with two girlfriendless guys at the time, just playing Xbox and just doing.
Were you guys DXing?
We were DXing.
You guys.
I was wondering where he came up with that wrestling move. Apparently
Yeah, it's weird. He showed me that wrestling move. He DX'd me.
No, we'd honestly stay up all night just playing Xbox. We had a lot of Nazi zombies at your house, like just.
Ton of Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
We did like me, him, and Kurt were super into. We were into Russell Crowe movies and Nick Cage movies. I remember Claire would never let me watch the movie Pig that came out with Nick Cage, and we all watched it together, and it was an amazing movie. There was also the Road Rage movie with Russell Crowe. That was that was a hilarious movie. Yeah, a lot of good times. Trying to think of anything else that we let slip through the cracks.
There's probably a ton. I mean, he was.
I just always had a sweet spot for the dude. He had like kind of a similar upbringing as I did, and like with, not to get into that, but like the divorced parents things, like I don't know, I just like really related to him well, and he was a really, really good guy, really easy person to talk to.
Easy person to hang out with. Just sit there and hang. He'd have a smile on his face and good listener, and he was fantastic.
And I don't know if did he play for Lasers or Lightning?
It was Laser. Back when Lasers was a travel team, it was more so Lasers. So him and Anthony Hawley, we all kind of did and then it was that veered into the recess kickball. It was like, well, you don't play soccer, so you can't be on my team.
Yeah. Package deal. Me, Anthony, JMH.
Yeah.
We'd have like all the athletes on one kickball team.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Moore would have to go capture the ball, which we all thought.
And the creek in the back.
Yeah, he would have to jump the fence,
Yeah.
even though we were like taller than Mr. Moore at the time, which was weird because I think I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
I think we're turning this into a movie, you guys, over here. I believe. I think it's supposed to be
We'll let
quick
it-
skips of everything. I think we've turned it into a. It's gonna be
Well, I'm thinking of things like now we're getting into it, and I'm like, damn, so
One time
many
me
good
and Jay and
memories.
Mitch were brushing our teeth together.
Yeah, one time we DX'd this guy. You did what?
Oh man.
DXing was cool.
Well, I'm gonna look that up later, and I'm curious to see what that's about. But
I don't know if you should look it on now that I'm thinking about it. Cut that. Yeah. Cut.
a lot of editing about to be done. Okay.
All right, we'll let you guys go. JMH is the man. I love that dude to death. It's gonna be, yeah,
Love him. I'm gonna miss him. So what you say?
good times.
Hi, I'm Barbara Knight on behalf of my family, Emery and Spencer. We love you, and we're going to miss John Michael. John Michael's a wonderful young man. I enjoyed having him in our classroom at Braylon and seeing him competitively playing sports, especially soccer, with Emory, and it's been great being neighbors with Vance and Lee and your beautiful family, your daughters. I have wonderful memories of our children growing up together from very little and seeing John Michael progress to the wonderful young man that he is and will always be to all of us. So thank you for having us here today. Sorry that Emory could not be here. He's out of state working on an extended project, so he does send his deepest sympathy and our heartfelt condolences to your entire family and all your friends. And glad you got a beautiful day, a lot of beautiful people that love you all and love John Michael so much. God bless you.
All right. Cool. So I will tell a story related to what Alex talked about earlier. John Michael and Alex and I had become what John Michael referred to as the Three Amigos in Hartford when they were living together, Alex and John Michael. There was also COVID, so I was working from their place a lot, and so the three of us had hung out pretty much every night with the schedule of Alex would cook dinner and I would then do the dishes, and John Michael would just benefit from the arrangement. But as time had gone on, I really did get to know John Michael as a friend, more so than just my girlfriend's brother. And one of the nights, I think the first night actually that we all hung out together outside of the apartment. It was summer. It was when COVID restrictions were just sort of allowing for an outdoor dining, outdoor drink type setting. And at this particular downtown Hartford, At this particular Mediterranean restaurant, our server was a female that John Michael had found to be quite attractive. And a number of the interactions, we were trying to encourage John Michael to say something like his name, ask how her evening was going, anything. And then finally we thought that we had gotten him, excited enough, juiced up enough that he was actually going to do something. And she came around, I think it was even the check, like last chance, and he gets ready to say something and just 0 words come out, and instead just stares at this server who stares back at him. And it was probably only 2 seconds, but felt like just 30 minutes of just silence, of staring between each other. And then he just exhaled and looked away. And he never did get that server's name or number, but I know that if things had gone differently, she would have for sure given him some number, anything. But that was one of our first like hangouts together as like friends outside of just the apartment. That for months after we would laugh about that interaction that never quite fully panned out. But yeah, I mean, they're across over a year of hanging out in the apartment, out of the apartment. There were a lot of good memories and a lot of good laughs together. So we miss him obviously, and we love him. But I'm gonna make sure that Alex keeps doing the pilot thing and supporting her in every way that I can, because I know he'd be proud of that. That's all.